see I'm getting blind.
Right.
Okay, also in that first paragraph, in that chairman's report section, form presented for homeschooling parents to use for notification, we need to put on there, this is an optional form. I put that in parentheses. This is an optional form. It's not something that's required. So this is an optional form. I found it useful, the way he did it, because it reminds school districts that what the provisions of the law are, rather than just being a plain, the name and address and so forth. It kind of reminds them of the law and rules. Okay, then under district role regarding special ed and home education, I had an explanation that I had checked with Helen Briss to make sure it was accurate. Well, I couldn't find it, and when I gave the report, that explanation was in there, but Kara was not at the beginning of the meeting, so that didn't get into the minutes. And like I said, when I went to put it in there, I have misfiled it. So I'd like to put that little explanation in there. It's a couple of lines, and it's more or less to the effect that parents can request an evaluation, because basically anyone can request an evaluation of a child for special needs. And then depending on that initial, I forget if it's called an intake, then further evaluations can be done. And an IE, going right up to an IEP, and at that point the parent decides whether or not to participate in the IEP or the homeschool. And some people will decide to homeschool and some will decide to go with the IEP. So that's what that little explanation was. I think it'd be useful to have that in the minutes rather than just saying district rule regarding special ed and home education.
George, a little clarification there. What initially happens is that you make a referral to the school.
Yes, that's what.
That's an actual term.
Yes.
Special ed term. During that meeting, they determine whether or not there's a necessity
Right.
to evaluate it on.
Yeah.
And
I swear to the ducks.
they don't always decide that they want to evaluate.
Yes, that's correct.
So, but there is a referral process, and then, so if they don't decide to evaluate the team, which is the school and yourself and the governor, have an appeal process, but, you know, but then if they do decide to evaluate, then the result of that evaluation, you'll have a meeting, and then you'll determine if the evaluations identify the student with a particular special need, which could be speech and language, it could be autism, it could be
Put
any
my
number of
language over there.
it could be any number of different things, and then from there, they would write, individual education plan to address that.
Right.
From what I understand, with either charter schools or homeschool people can request services from the school district, even if they're not going to the school, such as speech and language services.
That's
But
the tricky part.
I know it is a tricky part. They
Not
can't-
necessarily, they may even request that the school district can refuse them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because if they're high schools, it's a little easier,
Right.
but at
That's right,
elementary,
you
it's
know
really
this stuff.
difficult.
They,
Yeah.
what I was saying is not that, it's, there's choices along the way,
Yeah.
at each of
Mhm.
those stages. But I think, from my experience, at least there's an appeal process for each one of those decisions.
I
Yeah,
don't know,
Yeah.
probably. Through special education.
yeah, through
Yeah.
special
Yeah.
education, that's what
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
not through regular education, yeah, I get that.
yeah.
So, that's all.
Yeah, what you're explaining is better than the explanation I just gave, because I couldn't remember exactly what I had written. I had checked.
What happens
out.
with people all the time,
Yeah.
whether they're homeschooled or not, they discover that they want their kids to be evaluated.
Mhm.
It's a process.
Yeah. Okay, did anybody notice anything else in the minutes that needs to be corrected.
Only if you want to have consistency underneath Department of Education report. It says topics are informed in director's report.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I don't know if you want to change that.
Yeah,
to
well,
chair.
let's change that too, because I'm not the director, it's the chair. Okay. Yeah, so usually we have the exact language to vote on, and we're changing this, so I don't know if we should delay this to the next meeting, or if we can just say, yeah, Michelle.
On page 2, there's a reference to the National School Choice Week event that was held at the Proponi Center on Tuesday.
Yeah,
There were no proceeds to go to a thing. It was hosted by the Children's Scholarship Fund. There was no cost to the event. They did not make anything on the event. It was simply hosted by them as a free event to over
Hosted.
500 students across the state.
okay, hosted by, okay. Yeah, I'd kind of like to get these changes in there. Does anybody object if I find the wording that more closely adheres to what David said, and just include that in the minutes? Because that, when I gave it, I had checked with Helen to make sure I was accurately portraying what takes place. All right, and no objections to that? All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as corrected. If anybody.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
All right. Okay, now, today's 13th. This is why Kitty's taking over. Okay, we got finally some numbers. Okay, this is, Kitty,
Yeah.
why don't you talk about this, because I don't know what I'm talking about. Do you want these back?
No, I have a copy.
Yeah, copies, okay.
I'm not actually sure what I'm talking about, but I printed out the homeschooled counts by district for 2017 and 2018, and then 2016, 2017. There are a few years still missing up there, but these are the ones that are the most recent for the last couple of years. I'm not sure why you wanted me to print them out, though.
Because there had been people who were asking about
Oh, okay.
those numbers.
So if anyone wants to take a look at them, I'm happy to pass them around, yeah.
Are they
Yes.
available online anywhere?
That's where I
Yeah.
found them, online,
Okay.
yes.
Great.
There are numbers that were missing. I believe it's 14 to 15 and 15 to 16 are missing.
Yeah,
And then from the year 2011-12, no, 13 to 14 and back, I think are available up to a point. But yes, I found them online, and I'm happy to email them out, the link where I found them, if
Great,
that
thank
would be
you.
helpful. Yeah, sure.
okay. Yeah, those years that are still missing, if I remember correctly from talking to the lady who does the statistics, those will not be available,
Oh, okay.
because there was confusion as to who should be reported, whether it was everybody that the district had up until that time, or just the new ones.
Oh, I
And there
see.
was a question of what is the law saying, so I guess we won't see those. So but from now on, those counts will be in. And the way the department is doing it, it's the new students, the ones who are, the first notification, those are gonna be reported annually. The deadline for reporting programs is October 1st, So programs that get notified after October 1st get reported the following year, but they will be reported. That information is going to be collected and kept. Any questions on
So
that?
do the totals now, though, include all the previous students, with the assumption that they are still homeschooling because they've not received a letter indicating otherwise?
I haven't had a chance to look at this because I
Are
just.
the
got it
numbers like
today.
around 5,000, or are the numbers like around?
Yeah.
Let me check.
Yeah,
It
then
didn't
it's
look
only the
like-
new ones.
It didn't look like around 5,000,
I don't-
like
yeah,
2,000
it's,
something.
2,865,
Yeah.
so that's
That's not the total.
17, 18, it's not this year, but.
It actually, that number sounds to me like it's sort of a mix.
Yeah,
Some districts are sending in just the new notifications, and some districts are saying, here are the new ones, plus we've still got 100 on file, because the total has got to be somewhere around
Yeah,
6,000,
Mhm.
based
And
on,
2,000 seems kind of high for 1 year, you know, 2,000
for
new.
new,
Yeah.
yeah, right, that's right, because that would be too high.
But I was looking at
Kind of.
instructions on that form, and the districts are instructed to include only the new notifications dating back to the previous October. So I would, but I think maybe somebody may have, you know, sort of skipped that instruction and given it.
I would want to make sure that then we weren't saying that that was the total number of homeschoolers in the
Mhm.
state, because that.
No,
Yeah, this is what we have in terms of total.
Yeah.
20 kids in Concord being homeschooled?
yeah, that would be see, that's gotta be the new ones. Because that's what the form actually calls for. Anybody else? All right, tomorrow, Kitty and Helen and I are going to be going to the New Hampshire School Administrators Association meeting. And it's a state meeting, which doesn't necessarily mean everybody's going to be there, especially at this time of year. It's here in Concord, so that might be somewhat helpful for a lot of people. But, so Kitty will be giving a presentation, and Kitty and Helen will be speaking. I'm going to be listening.
I'll introduce you.
oh, thanks.
Any-
Reminds me who I am.
Any questions about that?
Or does anyone have anything specific they would like to make sure that I talk about?
Do you have an agenda going in?
Do I have an agenda going in? A personal agenda, would just be?
Well, no, I'm just
oh.
curious what is the purpose, I
Our goal
guess?
is to remind them that HEAC exists, how to access HEAC,
Uh-huh, okay.
Who to talk to, yeah.
or, anyone on the council.
Mhm.
And what our purpose and goal is, what's our focus, what we're here for.
Mhm.
And then if there are any questions that have been raised since the technical advisory that came out,
Mhm.
that we'd be happy to entertain
Excellent.
those questions, either there or via email, or
It's good.
come to a council meeting and ask, and have a discussion.
Good to bring it to their attention. Yeah, great.
I was wondering if you think we should have copies of this for them?
Of the,
Of the technical
The
advisory.
technical advisory? Yeah, that might be a good idea.
September 11th, 2018. So it's been a while,
Yeah.
in the superintendent's life, that's all.
Mhm. How do we arrange for that?
Well, if I were heading back to my district, I would be happy to copy them. I have no idea how many people are going to be at this
Yeah.
meeting.
I wonder if we can let the department know
I could,
to send them out.
yeah.
See, I don't know if they just posted on the website or if they actually
Yeah.
sent them out. I'm not sure.
I got it via email, but I prefer the old fashioned. Just to touch it, mark it, file it.
Yeah,
I could scan it in and either send it to Carl, or I'm on the email list for the group that gets the agenda and stuff, so I could, tonight I could scan it in and just push it out to everybody and say, what you have for tomorrow, this will be a focus of the comments from here.
okay.
whether they'll open it or not, that they have their computer sitting there, which most
Yeah.
likely they
Right.
will, they can pull it out.
That's a good idea.
Okay, that's a good idea. Any other comments on the school administrators meeting? Okay, the other day, Kitty and I were talking with the commissioner, and many of you here are probably already aware of this. It's a new program called Learn Everywhere. Pretty good. It makes it possible for students to get credit. There's a procedure set up, but kids will get credit for things that they're doing outside of school hours, which may help to keep some kids who are thinking about dropping out, may keep them from dropping out. It's a very interesting program. If there's somebody that hasn't seen this yet, we can email you.
It hasn't started yet, it's just a
Right.
proposed idea that the commissioner has.
Yeah,
I believe the Administrators Association is gonna urge him to get some variety of stakeholders together and talk about it, because a lot of that happens already in public schools.
right.
And especially for children in special education, once they hit that 18 to 21 age, we have a lot of
Mhm.
community-based things that they're doing, and we would want to integrate what we're doing, not kind of,
Create the way.
yeah, overlap and
Uh-huh.
cause, but more, kind of integrate opportunities that you might be able to create that you don't have yet, but some schools have extensive.
Yeah, it's also parallels of school competency-based learning too.
Yeah, that's.
Show the competency
Right.
and get the credit for it.
Right.
We do that at Parker, yeah.
Right.
There was legislation passed last year paving the way for this and establishing for